Tonight on SportsCenter, the story coming out of New York has the potential to reshape not only the Knicks' immediate future, but the entire Eastern Conference landscape. We're talking about blockbuster trade chatter, rotation shakeups, and a possible franchise-defining gamble, all centered around Zion Williamson. Now, reports tonight confirm that the Knicks have quietly begun exploring the possibility of a move for Zion. And what makes this different from empty rumor mill noise is that multiple insiders have confirmed New York is indeed positioning itself to strike if the Pelicans even slightly open the door. And here's where I want to bring in Stephen A. Smith, who on his program earlier today didn't mince words. He flat out said that this is exactly the type of swing the Knicks have been waiting for, because, in his words, when healthy, Zion Williamson is one of the most unstoppable forces in basketball. Stephen A. pointed out what everyone has seen when Zion is right: the unmatched athleticism, the brute force around the rim, the efficiency that warps defenses and creates lanes for teammates. He reminded viewers that Zion doesn't just play the game, he changes its geometry. And Stephen A. emphasized that when you already have Jalen Brunson leading this team, adding a healthy Zion could give the Knicks the kind of 1-2 punch that makes opposing defenses miserable on a nightly basis. But at the same time, Stephen A. didn't sugarcoat the concerns either. And as the narrator here, I've got to echo that. Health is the elephant in the room. The only thing keeping Zion from fully realizing his potential in New Orleans has been availability. And this is exactly why his name keeps surfacing in trade talks. According to reports, some inside the Knicks front office believe Zion could be the missing piece that transforms them into legitimate title contenders. But they're not blind to the risk. Financially, this is not a small move. Stephen A. made it clear that under the new CBA rules, adding a player of Zion's salary level is a massive commitment, not just in dollars, but in how you can operate as a franchise. The second apron, as Stephen A. called it, ain't just about money. It handcuffs you in trade, in free agency, in roster construction. And the Knicks are already tight after the Bridges extension and other off-season additions. Still, the potential payoff, Zion in Madison Square Garden, paired with Brunson and Julius Randle, is the kind of upside you just can't ignore. Stephen A. reminded everyone that New York has been searching for that guy, the next superstar who can truly elevate them. Brunson has been phenomenal, and Bridges has been critical, but Zion brings an entirely different dimension: brute force, downhill athleticism, a presence that bends defenses in ways no one else on the Knicks roster can. And let's be honest, as Stephen A. said, the Knicks have been waiting for a superstar of this caliber for decades. You put Zion in the Garden, and suddenly everything changes. The reward is clear, but so is the risk. Making this move would almost certainly cost New York part of its depth, and the Knicks have built their identity around balanced contributions from players like Mitchell Robinson and their bench rotation. That's the trade-off: a proven core of depth and development, or a bet on a generational talent whose health history is still uncertain. At the end of the day, the Pelicans control the situation. If they decide to shop Zion, the Knicks are positioned to pounce. And as Stephen A. framed it on his show, this isn't just about chasing a star. It's about whether the Knicks are finally ready to stop playing it safe and make the kind of bold, calculated gamble that could deliver a championship window. Because in this league, staying on the middle ground gets you nowhere. You either go all in or you get left behind. As we continue breaking this down, the biggest question surrounding Zion isn't about talent, it's about availability. Stephen A. Smith, on his show earlier, made this point crystal clear. You can't ignore the elephant in the room. Injuries have been the recurring storyline in Zion Williamson's career. One wrong commitment to a player with his health history can handcuff a franchise for years, and that's exactly why the Knicks front office is moving with extreme caution. Up to this point, they've done everything right. Locking in Bridges on a below-market extension, keeping Jalen Brunson happy with a smart contract, and maintaining depth without jeopardizing financial flexibility, that's disciplined roster management. But adding Zion? That tests discipline like nothing else. Here's the flip side that Stephen A. emphasized repeatedly on his show. Zion Williamson is only 25 years old. That's right, 25. In basketball terms, he's still entering the window, where his best seasons could very well be ahead of him. Stephen A. didn't hold back when discussing the implications of this for the Knicks, pointing out that while the risk is real, the potential reward is monumental. The organization recognizes that too, and they see a very narrow but enticing window of opportunity if the Pelicans are willing to reshape their roster and make Zion available. This isn't just a hypothetical. The Knicks have been carefully assessing what it would take to acquire him, weighing draft capital, current player contracts, and the balance of long-term stability versus immediate impact. Now, let's paint the picture, just like Stephen A. did, because it's impossible to overstate how dangerous this could be. Imagine a front court with Julius Randle sliding to the 4, Zion occupying the 5 in small ball lineups, and shooters spread around them. That alignment isn't just strong, it's nightmare fuel for every defense in the Eastern Conference, as Stephen A. put it. Offensively, defenses wouldn't know whether to collapse on Zion, rotate to contest Randle, or respect the spacing from perimeter shooters. The floor opens up for cuts, drives, and kick-out threes in ways that could completely change the Knicks' offensive identity. And defensively, with Tom Thibodeau's schemes paired with Zion's rare combination of strength, explosiveness, and athleticism, the team could cover weaknesses elsewhere while turning nearly every transition opportunity into a high-percentage chance. Zion's ability to dominate the paint, combined with Randle's versatility, could create matchups that are virtually impossible to counter. But, as Stephen A. emphasized, nothing comes without a cost. Acquiring Zion wouldn't be a simple swap. It would likely involve multiple first-round picks, possibly 2 or more rotation players, and a very careful reconfiguration of the roster to ensure the team maintains financial flexibility under the CBA. This is where the philosophical question comes into play. Do you risk disrupting chemistry that's been built over multiple seasons to make a massive swing for a generational talent? Or do you stay the course with a roster that is already projected to be among the top contenders in the East? Stephen A. didn't shy away from pointing out the stakes. This isn't just about talent. This is about judgment, timing, and the ability to calculate risk on a level few front offices can manage. One wrong move here and you compromise years of work. FanDuel's latest odds reinforce the delicate balancing act. New York is sitting right behind Cleveland and Oklahoma City in the title race at Powell's 1850. That's elite company, and Stephen A. highlighted this point. The Knicks are already in a strong position to contend, so adding Zion could instantly elevate them into the absolute top tier of the NBA. But, and this is a big but, if injuries persist, and we know Zion's career has been punctuated by them, the consequences could set the franchise back years, potentially erasing the momentum they've painstakingly built. Stephen A. called it a high-stakes gamble that could define a decade, stressing that this is the type of decision where the rewards are enormous, but the risks are just as massive. Every draft pick, every player included in the deal, every dollar committed would have to be measured, calculated, and strategically aligned with both immediate championship aspirations and long-term flexibility. In essence, what Stephen A. was driving home is that the Knicks are standing at a crossroad. They can either swing for a transformational talent in Zion Williamson, knowing full well the risk of injury and financial strain, or continue building steadily, maintaining the chemistry, and betting on internal growth from players like Brunson, Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. The decision isn't just about acquiring a star. It's about defining the identity of this Knicks franchise for years to come. And that, according to Stephen A., is why every move, every calculation, every phone call in the next few months will be under intense scrutiny. The window is there, the potential is there, but so are the stakes. Enormous, career-defining stakes that could alter the Knicks' trajectory in ways fans have only dreamed about until now. And that's why this isn't just another trade rumor. This is a franchise-defining decision. The question for Knicks fans is simple but monumental. Do you roll the dice on Zion Williamson and go all in for a potential championship? Or do you stick with the blueprint that has already brought growth, smart contracts, and sustainable development? Stephen A. said it best. This is why basketball is about risk and reward. The Knicks are perfectly positioned to make a move that could change everything, but it has to be calculated. Every pick, every contract, every roster spot matters. As this situation unfolds, the pressure on New York's front office is undeniable. Every move is analyzed through the lens of championship aspiration. The balance between Mitchell Robinson's elite rim protection and offensive sparks from potential additions like Malik Beasley could define how this roster performs when it counts. Depth and versatility have become critical in an Eastern Conference that has never been more competitive, where even minor adjustments can swing playoff matchups. Defensively, Robinson provides a foundation that few players can replicate, protecting the paint while maintaining mobility. That presence alone shifts the dynamics of a series, especially against teams with physical front courts or rim-attacking strategies. On the offensive end, adding a sharp shooter like Beasley creates spacing, opens lanes, and provides exactly the kind of versatility that has eluded the Knicks in previous postseason runs. Stephen A. reminded viewers that every next move now sets the tone for the Knicks' identity. This isn't just about filling a role. It's about defining what New York wants to be in the years ahead. With trade rumors like Zion Williamson constantly swirling, the urgency to solidify a clear, championship-ready identity becomes even more pressing. Every decision now shapes the future. And in the NBA, the margin for error has never been smaller. Knicks fans are watching. The front office is calculating, and the next chapter could be the most pivotal in recent franchise history.